welcome to Game Day at Rapid Plus TCT 2022. I'm here with Roxanne Warren of Morf3D.
Hello, John.
How are you doing?
Great to see you again.
I know, it's been a little while.
Just a little.
Yeah. So just wanted to kind of catch up a little bit on what you're doing, your new role, what's going on at Morf3D. There's been quite a bit of excitement for you guys, I would say.
Just a little bit of
Year.
excitement, yeah. We just, as a matter of fact, a couple weeks ago, we did an announcement about our newest partnership with DMG Mori. So extremely excited to bring them into our ADMC and add them to our consortium of partners to really enable the additive industry going forward.
Yeah, can you talk, maybe explain to folks, what ADMC is, what you're trying to accomplish? That in itself is a relatively new, activity, isn't it?
Yeah,
is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when Ivan really created this vision, it was all around collaborating with the industry, right? And bringing the industry together to actually do something that they'd never done before. And so if you look at a lot of our partners, SLM, EOS, who would have ever thought that you could get, and then add DMG Mori to it, all OEMs that have their own technology, who would ever thought that they would be willing to come in to a what we're calling the ADMC and really collaborate and drive the capabilities and enable capabilities for our customers. So our customers are going to be able to come in because we're going to be technology agnostic. They can work with our OEMs, work with all of our partners to create a solution for them that they're able to drive and leverage going forward. And again, it's not pitting the OEMs against each other. It's really enabling the OEMs to make themselves better and make the industry better at the end of the day. And again, it's not just about additive. It's not just about the printers, right? We're fully end-to-end solution capable throughout the ADMC and our consortium.
Yeah, I think that's you. It feels like, as an external person who's not been there physically
yet. We will get you there.
It's more, we talk about this end-to-end value chain and trying to, as we're introducing more people to additive, and maybe even some people who have been engaged in additive for quite a while.
True.
There's a lot more to it than this is what happens with inside the box. And there's a lot of, I don't want to say myths, but the unknowns about it. And I think it's interesting, I remember having Ivan speak at an event for me focused on supply chain, which is all a bit, I don't know, hilarious, comical, something.
True.
This was probably 6 years ago. And I remember him talking, and I was intrigued by someone, I'm from a conventional background, used to development of a quality management system and integrating that into the workforce and being able to deliver and produce components. And I remember him talking about what he was doing back then,
right, around
where he fit into the supply chain. And I think this ADMC and the work that you're doing today and the new building, and there's a whole host of things that have gone on in the last couple of years that really speak to the industrialization of the technology. And I mean, to me, that's a bit of what feels different over the last 5 or so years,
right,
just for us as a community. And I think folks like yourself and the team at Morf3D are on the forefront of pushing that.
Yeah.
What we need is more to adopt it, and more to get engaged with that moving forward. So, how do you? Your customer base is primarily aerospace today?
Primarily aerospace and defense. So less on the commercial side right now, but we are on the commercial side, but it is focused on aerospace and defense markets.
So, and I know your team is out and about quite a bit, very engaged. I think there is a, an understanding from, the collective team there that we've got to do this together and work on things together. And I think it kind of talks to your point from, earlier in our conversation about that's kind of what you're trying to push.
Right.
And I don't want to say forcing, but convincing organizations to work together, even with inside your four walls?
Yeah, it is that. It really is about convincing the members and the companies within our consortium, but it's also convincing the customer base, right? So if you think about where we are from an additive perspective today, the industry is still all about qualifying parts. You know, we talk about the AM Forward program, you know, Biden's AM Forward program. You know, even from that perspective, there's still a lot of part qualification, right? Where, in short, that's a great place for us to all be today. But we all know, most of us know, those that don't will be introduced to it, you know, it's not just about the part. We've got to get to where we're qualifying the process, but more importantly, we're qualifying the production systems. And really that's part of where the ADMC is driving to. So, you know, as you know, we got 60% acquired by Nikon, and that has been an absolute fantastic opportunity for us as a company. And what it's done for us is it's really taking us from, you know, sort of that service bureau-ish type of capability to really a technology company, and having the ability to enable technology to manufacture at rate production, but then really driving technology to, you know, productionize the additive manufacturing process from end to end. Really, it's one of Nikon's core competencies that I think we all recognize that. And so being able to take that and leverage that now within Morf3D, but more importantly, within the ADMC is really a big driver for us going forward.
Yeah, you mentioned, you know, customer base. I'm interested in what that looks like. So I think what you just defined is our reality today, but I imagine there are folks, you know, entering into the conversations with you from very different points of view, or maybe different, you know, steps on the maturity curve, if you will.
Right.
So I'd love to hear some stories of you know, those conversations. But what does the, you know, customer base look like? Are they folks who are, you know what they want, versus people who come with a capability that they're looking for and a set of requirements? You know, how would you describe, you know, I guess at a global level, the interaction that you're having? I'm guessing they're diverse and not...
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to be diverse, but at the same time, I think the ones that are really interacting with us from a Morf3D perspective are probably looking more at that service bureau-ish type of thing. The customers that are really starting to engage, that have engaged and are continuing and starting to engage in many ways with us on the ADMC, are coming at it differently. They're looking at it going, wow, nobody's been able to bring all of these companies together under one roof, right? Yep. In whichever region, and with the ability to have them communicate, have them talk, have them collaborate, you know, bring the customer base in and go, okay, you want this? No, I really think you need, you know, SLM or EOS, because they're both, you know, some of our partners, can look at each other and go, you know what, this really isn't our technology. We really think you ought to go with this. Or you work together to create a hybrid solution. Very much about that. So ADMC is more about sort of that future. They know, they've been there, they've done that, they know it's not working, they know that they can't get to where they need to be in today's world in additive. And so that's really their focus. And then just sort of that strict Morf3D side is more, you know, still that service bureau-ish, although because we're so close to the ADMC, it's very less the service bureau-ish and driving much more to the production side.
Yeah, it's been...
the technology side.
Yeah, it's been, you know, just keeping track of what's going on there. I think you just laid out, you know, a handful of pretty significant changes that have taken place in the last, I mean, really in the last 2 years, I guess, is where it's all really come together. What's next? You know, where are you going next?
Where are we going next? So, let's see, where are we? I mean, the ADMC is so broad.
It's so new.
In and of itself.
Make that work.
Yeah. So, but if you look strategically long term, you know, there's always opportunities for us to establish ADMCs, you know, in strategic locations. You know, whether it be in the U.S. or globally. Okay, certainly an opportunity. if you look at our ability, where we will land at the end of the day, our ability to certify production systems, we'll have the capability to pick up those production systems and relocate them, okay? And enable that capability in other regions, in global regions. And so I think for now, it's sort of that mantra, that MO is where we're headed. And then we'll see where the future takes us from there. So
no, it's interesting. As you know, we're all living the world of different supply chain discussions and distributed manufacturing discussions, and what is it? It's honestly something I hadn't thought about, knowing, you know, admittedly the little I know about what you are doing and where you're going, but how that potentially fits in as we think about where do we go next. The idea of being able to pick something up and move it over here, or pick it up and replicate it, is where I think there's you know, really interesting discussion to pay.
And you know it can't happen today. It never happens today. No. I mean, you can't buy two printers with two different serial, you know, obviously they're gonna have two different serial numbers, but you can't buy the same printer, make, model, and they're not gonna be the same. They all are teenagers with their own temperaments, right? And they're all going to throw a fit when they want to. So, and those are the types of things that we're going to be working with the OEMs to really fix, right? And they all have that problem.
I think collectively, as we mature and move towards, I mean, true industrialization and adoption, you know, it's obviously needed, and I think it's an important conversation that beyond, you know, our buzzwords of qualification and certification, moving into that tactical and you know, first strategical, but then tactical, what are we going to do and who's doing it, and then how do we get that out? You know, how do we get the information that we, you know, you, anyone discovers, so that we can collectively do more.
Right.
I think that's our opportunity. So.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you hit standards. You know, if we look at from a standards perspective, everything that y'all have been doing, that I've participated in the past, et cetera, it's all going to be a part and parcel to what we are going to be able to enable as well, right? We talked before this, you know, about being able to have all the equipment talk to each other. As much as we all want to believe that the industry is moving that direction, I can't say that we're not, right? But I think snail's pace is probably the best way to characterize it. You know, if we're really going to start making a bigger difference, that snail's pace has got to pick up a little bit, right? I'm hoping with the AM Forward that's going to help, you know, at least drive the attention to the capability, to the need. You know, the standards need to be there, right? But they need to be standards that we can all work with at the same time. So it'll be interesting. Yeah,
awareness and education, they seem to be two very important realities that we need to collectively get our arms around.
This is true.
Yeah.
So, and I know, you know, one of the other things that we could always think about is, you know, we've got with the ADMC in the West Coast, right, and the potential to do similar ADMCs in other strategic areas. You know, it may be something, especially with the AM Forward, that, you know, we can work with America Makes or whatever and establish an America Makes West. You know, you've got the consortium there, you've got, you know, customers, you've got, you know, technology partners, you've got it all there, you know, and do things, whether it's, you know, sort of an America Makes thing or an industry thing. It's really going to be about bringing everybody together, because that's, I think, at the end of the day, what the AM Forward is truly all about. How we all get there is going to be interesting, right? Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, it's there. Yeah. So, you know, definitely something for us to all think about and consider.
Plenty to think about.
Plenty.
That is for sure. Well, thank you for your time. Good to catch up with you.
Yeah, thank you.
See you around, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks.